Cancers, how are you doing? How are you coping? How is life treating you? I see you are on a healing journey. I see you've been through a lot. I see you've got a lot of worry and fear and anxiety, but I think things are going to start picking up for you now. Knight of Swords, the Star, and the Nine of Swords to start the reading. We're also looking at the Nine of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, the Ten of Swords. Difficult energy you've been working through. A lot of pain and trauma. You've got to be really, really compassionate and understanding with yourself. You got to get clear in the mind about what you've been through and where you're going now. You really got to ground yourself and find some positivity and love in your life. Yeah, you got to activate that higher vibration, that love frequency, those positive affirmations. You got to get rid of that negative self-talk. You got to really start awakening to how you're treating yourself, how you view yourself, and how you treat others and view others because of that as well, because it all starts internally. Let's go. Straight off the bat, we're dealing with 10 of Wands versus the Ace of Wands, right next to the Three of Wands. So it's a situation of you've been incredibly burdened, yeah, by life, by everything, by not making a decision, by not being able to move forward, by feeling overwhelmed and attacked by everyone around you. There's been about 4 incidents, 3 to 4 significant incidents or people, but I feel like there's situations or events that have really triggered you and broke you down. You could have went home crying after the fact. 10 of Swords, you felt really stabbed. Like, I want to say stabbed in the back, but I feel like stabbed in the face, stabbed in the front, stabbed in the heart. You could actually, the level of stabbing energy I've got here, you could have actually been in a knife fight in real fucking life. How about that? Yeah? You've been going through it, or know someone else who's been stabbed, to be honest. A lot of wounds, yeah. You could have been in hospital. You could have been in a punch up or a fight or a violent attack. Yeah, I'm looking at bruises on the face. I'm looking at wounds and scars and scratches. You could have got into a massive bust up and ended up fighting into one. Oopsie! Look at that. Just as I said that, a whole tower on my countertop just collapsed. It had a pile of stuff on it. All of it just crumbled to the floor and splattered. So that's synchronicity if we ever did need it. Something happened. It really triggered you. The lessons and blessings card is out. Lessons and blessings. So this was a very, very important lesson for you. You've got to look at it as a blessing that has taught you a much better way to deal with things like this in the future. Yeah? In my head, I'm getting adulthood. The real test of what it means to be be an adult. Sorry. And in my head, now I'm getting the movie Adulthood. Really old school movie, but if you're a millennial from the UK, you would know about it. Really tongue-tied as well in speech. It was like that a little bit with Capricorn, but I'm more aware of it now with Cancer energy. And I've done loads of readings and I'm really diving into the energy I receive whilst I'm in the reading. With you guys, I'm picking up on the fact that you don't want to speak and you get a lump in your throat and you don't know what to say. I feel like there's a lot of tears and a lot of crying and a lot of pain and a lot of trauma and a lot of facing the truth. I feel like someone's been in hospital and not very well, like from an attack. Like maybe someone could have even passed away. You could be grieving someone who lost their life in a violent attack. Yeah? Could have last saw someone at the hospital before they died. Yeah? Interesting. Very interesting reading this is. Let's ground this in a general story because I'm being dragged to multiple different scenarios. But I am seeing a violent, devastating situation that either way, you or another person, it has left you bruised. It has left you hurting. It has left you feeling stuck and also somewhat the center of attention, and everything around you just started to pick up steam and momentum, and you just felt unsafe and pressurized. And there's just been a lot of muddy, dirty, confusing energy all around you. There's been no clear sight, no clear passage, no direction, no way to go. You haven't really been able to heal through any of this because you haven't been able to see. You haven't really understood. You've been incredibly wounded, yeah? What's nice in regards to where you're going is the stars out and the nightingale. The nightingale spirit talks about clear communication. It talks about the singing and soul song, the true you, your truest voice. So you are being asked more than ever to start speaking up. The whisper card is out as well. So it's saying, even if you have to start with a whisper, start speaking out, start asking for help, start making the changes you want to make in your life, because destiny does await you, right? We all have our own destiny. We all have our life purpose. Someone feels removed from purpose in life. We've got the phoenix rising from the ashes, and you being able to talk up and listen and learn. I'm also guiding you, if you're a feminine, to go and watch the Leo reading. Whether you're a Leo or not, we all have Leo in our charts. We all have different zodiacs in our charts, should I say. So go and check out the Leo reading if you're a female, because I spoke lengthily about the Empress journey and getting your spark back and healing from a change in life. So if you've changed your life in some way, that will be a great empowering reading for you to hear kind of what's gone on in that life story and how to use it to empower you. I say that because the Galactic card's out and the Leo also got that card, and that is about where we're at in space and time now. There's a massive shift on Earth to a galactic realm, a galactic world. It's really, really exciting. If you want to learn more, go to hermitology.me, link in the description, and you can start discovering what is happening around the world and what we're building at Hermitology that is allowing us to be part of this galactic future that is related to Earth and out beyond the Kármán line, which includes the moon and Mars. And there are debates about other planets as well. So whilst I'm still alive in this lifetime as a millennial, we're going to have a lot of stuff going on the moon, on Mars, on other planets, a lot of space travelers, a lot of flying and aviation in the sky. The world's changing, technology's changing. There's AI, AGI, the evolution of all of this stuff is so amazing. And the Galactic card talks about the cyber evolution. Leo, we spoke about cyberpunk, right? And being alternative a little bit, right? But with you guys, you're not quite where Leo is, to the point where you're rising up to get a whole new cyberpunk upgrade. I don't know if that's really destined for you, but you are meant to get a little spark and funky and edgy and quirky and find yourself in a really cool alternative way. Yeah? I went on a massive story about how I used to go to Camden all the time and how I look and dress now compared to how I used to, and the journey that I've been on. And I'm also looking at a non-binary card as well, male or female, and throwing the gender labels away and just being a free spirit, being a rock star, being cyberpunk, being queer and alternative, and just not fitting in with the status quo, not because you don't want to, but because you just want to do you, like the way you dress, the way you present, the way you show up. So there's this new lease of life that you need to find, not based on the cyberpunk narrative or the Leo journey, but you need to go on a journey like the Leo is about to go on, where you start to discover, what do I like? What did I do in childhood? How did I used to do my hair? How do I really like my makeup? Yeah? I spoke all about my hair in the Leo reads and how I do it now versus how I did it then. Now I want to talk all about my lipstick and colours of lipstick and eyeshadow and stuff I used to do. And experimenting, and when I have my shamanic days and I do all my tribal face print and stuff like that. Just liberatory fun stuff that I do for me that I don't need to go out publicly with or share with anywhere else, but it's fun. Yeah? Your inner child needs nourishing and healing, yeah? Alternative colours that no one else will wear. I'm obsessed with Green lipstick. I love green on the lips. I remember when I was really diving into the tech and the experiment, I was out and about in Walthamstow with my green lips and my green hair and my bindi on. And I loved it. It was so weird. I just kept saying, I'm an alien, I'm an alien. I was walking around with it. I didn't think nothing of it. Now I'm kind of like, now I've got green dreadlocks and I still love a green lip. I'm a green lip. I'm so punk and out there and alternative. And that wouldn't have happened if I didn't choose to find myself and love on me and do stuff that I want to do. They don't even sell green lipstick like that. Do you know how hard it is to find a green lip? Struggles of a cyberpunk. Where can I get the best green lipstick? I just can't track down the colour I want to match my dreadlocks. Struggles. Right? So whatever that is for you, right? And in my head I'm getting tribal print and like colours and like I went for a phase where I used to do avatar face paint, like Avatar from The Last Airbender. And when I had like a bald head, I would do like the arrow print on my forehead, and I would do all the dots under my eyes, and I would do all this tribal stuff, and it would just be me living my life and being who I am and powwowing. Powwow is an indigenous stomping style dance. If you know about black culture in the United States and in college and on campus, you will know about stomp, movies like Stomp, right? Where you're really dancing and doing really empowering. It's like a black cultural I wanted to refer to the Samoan dance and ritual they do, but now I'm getting confused. We're hopping from culture and indigeny, basically. But the point is, there's different people in the world, and you're being encouraged to explore that. I'm being guided to the man as well. This is a crazy story. The man in Scotland, the African king in Scotland, who went over to the Scottish land and said, no, it's mine, these are my people, we're coming back, we want to live here. Free black African shamans started their own tribe living on the land, all over the news in Scotland. They've been removed now, but I'm sure they're going to pop up somewhere else. And then they're going to have more. They're going to have 7 people when they next pop up. Might not hear from them again for a year or 2. Then you pull back up, they've got 20. Yeah? This is the start. This is the wave. This is the era. Yeah? So we've got cyberpunks evolving over there. And we've always had these communities, but they're really taking shape now because the world's changing in major ways. Yeah? Head over to hermitology.me. Check out some of the news pieces we've got over there that really touch on and tap into real world events and what's going on out there. Yeah? Indigenous groups are evolving, taking shape in new ways. LGBTQ also doing the same. Cyberpunk technology, all these evolutionary groups are evolving. You belong somewhere. Only you know. So you got to go out there and choose to seek and search. And it's not meant to be a mission or a lusting or a longing for any of these things. You don't fucking need anything. You've got you. You don't need to be anything but you. You just need to be confident enough to be yourself. Because I spoke in the Leo reading about how if I went out with my afro in my old community, I'll be judged. If I just went out with my natural hair, woke up one day, brushed it through, afro picked it and went about my day, I will get cussed because you have to look a certain way. Spoke about wearing lace wigs since like 2012 and how I don't care for them anymore because I've been wearing them before they were even on trend. They started trending in 2020 and I've been wearing lace wigs since 2012. When a whole hairstyle saga about hair. Yeah? And the way that I look like a bushwoman with my dreads right now, all green and crazy, and how I wouldn't be accepted or I'll be looked at as mad and crazy with my hair this way, or how I choose to dress in the community that I used to come from. So it's about breaking stereotypes. It's about breaking the status quo of how you're supposed to be and how you've been raised to be. We also spoke lengthily about race being black and white in that piece. And I recommended the TV show Blackish, Mixedish and Grownish, all spin-off series of each other. And we spoke about what it meant to show up as your authentic ethnicity, but sometimes you feel pressured to conform to how people see you, and people assume you're this race or that race, but they had no idea you was mixed with all this other stuff. So when you get to a certain age and you realise a bit of your heritage is missing, and you want to show up a bit more like this or a bit more like that, because that's who you really are, it becomes down to you to show up and represent your true DNA, your true heritage, who you really are, and not feel a way about it. And then you start to realise people actually that are around you who are not used to you changing or showing up as this way might have a attitude about it, right? The example I gave, I don't want to ruin the Leo reading for you, because the Leo reading was really gorgeous, and it's just bouncing. You must have Leo in your chart, I think. Either way, Leo energy is really significant for you. If you've got a Leo friend, share this with a Leo, okay? Because in the Leo, I also spoke about someone who had like 3 different ethnicities. They was really mixed in background, and but they looked white. Everyone assumed they were white, and they had a really unique hair texture, but they always really straightened it all the time. So people just assumed they were like Eastern European, and they just let people believe that and never really spoke about their true heritage. And when people asked them, where are you from, they would be surprised. And it was me telling that person. I didn't even go into that much depth for the Leo, but I'm reflecting on it now and giving you a whole backdrop to the Leo life that they didn't even get on themselves. So it was an awareness of, no, I want to show all of me a little bit more. And actually people look at my skin colour and assume one thing, but actually I've got all of these other parts to me that hasn't really ever been seen and acknowledged. And I didn't want to make it about race or culture or religion or colourism or anything like that. But it was, I want to represent me for real, the real me. And then that took us into the cyber journey of crazy coloured dreadlocks and different coloured hair and tattoos and piercings and Camden and style and funk and music and vibes and the stuff we love and the stuff we don't, and what community we should probably be hanging with versus where we've ended up and why we need to realign and find our true self, right? Because I went on a tangent about Camden, and I was so in love with that reading. I was like, oh my gosh. I used to love Camden, everything about it. It was my happy place. And I spoke about cultural appropriation, about how white people get cussed if they have braids or dreadlocks. But I said I used to go to Camden and I used to love the white women with lilac dreadlocks and half their head shaved. Half of your head is gone and you just got pink dreadlocks with all the crazy different tattoos. And the piercings and the split tongue. I used to be obsessed with split tongue. All I wanted for ages was split tongue. I said, I'm going to grow up and I'm getting split tongue. My mission for years was split tongue. Nowadays, I'm sitting here like, no, you don't need split tongue. We've got too much work to do. You love to eat food. You probably chew your own tongue off with excitement. You do not need split tongue. But how weird. Because that part of me was suppressed for a long time. I hadn't been Camden in ages. And I used to go to Camden. I used to go to Electric Ballroom and turn up. Party my arse off in Camden. Walk around Camden Market. I used to wear corsets all the time. My favourite fashion piece was a corset. And I got my nose pierced as early as I could, my tongue pierced as early as I could. I was staring at tattoos for years about what kind of tattoos I want. I've got a really out there tattoo that I would never think that I would even have, with like Kalimar and her tongue out on my arm and skulls. A skull on her crown. And I thought it was really edgy when I did it, and I thought it was a bit too much. But it's my inner child knows me. My inner child is really guiding me, but I don't always let her take the front seat and shine. And now I've started to do that, and it's so epic, it's so fun. And I thought if I let my inner child take control of me, that I would be immature and I wouldn't grow up and I wouldn't be seen as sensible. I filled myself with all this stuff in the mind that would make me feel less than, and I wouldn't be what the world needed. I wouldn't be what my family and friends needed to see. I wouldn't be what the community wanted. Who gives a fuck about any of that? I am me now. I am me. And the days that this is the example I gave, and I'm going to pin this here and leave it and go to the last set of cards, but it's worth sharing this because I just went through this. I'm so very hair obsessed at this time. I always experiment with my hair. And over the last week, I've had crazy green, brown, blonde dreadlocks, but with loads of afro hanging out of it, and curls and ringlets. A massive bird's nest of ringlet and dreadlocks in moss green, blonde and brown, all in one giant nest. It looked like I lived in a bush. I looked like Bush Woman. I looked like Bellatrix Lestrange. I am channeling Helen Bonham Carter at this time. Helen Bonham Carter, something like that. Who played Bellatrix Lestrange in Harry Potter. I'm channeling that energy. It's gothic, it's emo, it's off edge. I'm obsessed with green lipstick. I don't be wearing it outside, but I'm one of these cyber emos now that wear green lipstick indoors. I was out on the street in 2021 with my green lips and happy about it, but there's no need for me to be turning up with green lipstick anywhere right now. I'm a hermit. I'm busy. I've got things to do. But when we get dressed in the house and we're doing what we're doing, we turn up and we look cute. And I look in the mirror and I laugh and I go to myself, do you live in a bush? Do you live in a bush? Are you ready for Burning Man? Where are we going with this vibe? And it's so rewarding to me, because it's like, I feel like I'm liberated, or I've broken the curse, or I'm just living in this dream state of who I've always kind of wanted to be and what I've wanted to represent. And it's fun, and it's a phase and an era, and I'm experimenting, and I've cleaned my hair up since I've last had that conversation. I've grounded all of my crazy afro and curls and ringlets and frayed dreads that were hanging out, and I've redone my locks and tidied it all up. I look clean and presentable again now, somewhat. But now I'm like, okay, how long do I have to go before it's all crazy and bird's nesty again? Because I like that phase. I like looking that way. I love this new me, right? So, and that wouldn't come from me doing what anyone else wants me to do, or listening to anyone else, conforming to anyone else, being around anyone else. It comes from me being me entirely and being grateful for it. And that's why I'm sharing this story with you. That's why we're journeying into my personal life, and I'm becoming a storyteller and sharing with you my experience, because we want to hear yours. What's your story? What's your experience? What did you do in childhood that you like? What's that secret thing that you want to do or want to wear but you don't? Have you got an outfit or a colour or a design or a print or something that you really want to wear? Something that you want to do but you just don't do it because you feel like it's so risque, it's so trashy, it's so, oh, you will be so judged and cussed if you did that. Do that. I dare you do that thing. You're going to feel fucking amazing. You're going to feel super sexy. You're going to feel super cool. Even if you just do it in your own home, just you. And you're just minding your business, dressed in the way that you really want to be dressed. Yeah? This takes me back to the guy in my local area when I used to live in Wood Green. At the local Sainsbury's in Wood Green, he used to work at the checkouts, the self-checkouts, supporting everyone, passing out the bags. He was full-blown emo. He had a full, really, really white face, full on black hair swept to the sides. He also had different colour lipstick sometimes, like black or green. He always had eyeshadow, and also he had like winged liner on his eyes. His makeup was sick. He looked amazing. He's still wearing Sainsbury's uniform, but he's emo, edgy as fuck. And every time I went to the checkout, I would just be like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Like, when I see him, I'll be like, you look great today. Your face is beat. You look turned. You look amazing. Every time I see him, I have to say something because I'm so extra. I can't just shut my mouth and go to the till. But he just made my day. He made my day every time I went into Sainsbury's. And I walk over and I'm like, here we go, some flavour in the shop today, because everyone else looks dry and dusty and depressed in their everyday life. Ew. No, I don't want to go to your checkout, grumpy motherfucker. No, I'm going this way, because this emo is a vibe. And I bet you lot hate on him in the staff room as well. That's how... I had to get that out. That was trapped trauma. Did you hear that? That was trauma in me for a long time. Should have cussed everyone in the store, because I know they must have been treating him badly. That was many years ago. And I ain't seen anyone like that from such a alternative cyber punk reality working in Sainsbury's. I ain't seen anyone so out there like that in a community that they don't really belong in. You could tell Sainsbury's was not for him, but he needed to get that check. And he showed up at the checkouts every day, and sometimes he was getting more feminine with it as well, which is interesting. I wonder if he became non-binary or trans beyond that. I don't know, because before I moved areas, he looked like he was becoming more feminine style, and I was digging it. I was like, you look amazing. I was like, you look beat today. I was like, you are giving. Oh my goodness. I was always applauding him and screaming when I saw him, because he was a vibe. And because actually sometimes I could see other people going into the checkout, especially men, and just actually outrightly looking them up and down and giving them a dirty look. Like, you could tell he got shit every day from some people for the way he looked. Yeah, he stood right there. Customer service, intense engagement with the consumer every day. So I was applauding him, screaming his name from the rooftops, singing for him, standing ovation every time I saw him, because I was impressed. Do you know what that takes internally? The guts, the balls, the strength, the resilience to go through that. And what's he doing? Being himself. Doing what he wants to do. Living in his truth. Living in his light. Living in his purpose. And look how difficult that must have been. Yeah? That's the real true inspiration to me. That's true empowerment. That's true self-love. That's the real heart, you know, to see someone go through something like that, or to live that authentically, which we should all be allowed to do, yet know that this is so not typical, you know? So please bear those stories in mind moving forward, and hopefully they liberate you and motivate you and let you know you're allowed to be whoever the fuck you want to be. Because that's the message you need today. To know that you are free. You worry so much with the Nine of Swords here. And the Ten of Swords is out twice. You really, really been hurt. But I feel like you hurt yourself as well. You could have been self-harming recently. You could have threatened to stab yourself. You could have been in isolation, or even in a mental health ward or institution. You could have or questioned whether you should go to one or not. You had concerns about your mental health. You could be punching yourself, scarring yourself, punching things, hurting yourself with appliances, like scolding yourself with hot objects. You're being guided, okay? Because, once again, let's use that guy as an example. I don't know what he went through in life. He could have had a really healthy, positive life and a strong, stable support system and really good mental health, and never worried about his day-to-day job at Sainsbury's. But, in my mind, every day he stood there, he put himself at risk to be judged and disrespected and ridiculed just because he didn't do his hair and his makeup and dress the same like everyone else. Because of that. And I wouldn't want him to go home at the end of the day because a Eastern European man went ugh when they walked past him and made a disgusting remark, because in the time that I lived there and had been in that shop, I saw an Eastern European man do what I just done. Ugh. He was in front of me and he made that remark, and then I deliberately pissed on that man and sang from the rooftops and nearly done a pride parade in the middle of the fucking aisles just to make a point of how amazing he is. I was like, you look sensational, you look fantastic, you are the best person in this shop, the best employee I have ever seen in my life. Like, don't start me off. If you start discriminating and being prejudiced against someone, you will activate me and I will go bananas. Don't do it. There's no need. If someone triggers you personally and you have a personal issue with someone and something they've done to you, fair play. But you don't know that motherfucker. You're just making a judgment based off a snapshot of what you've seen. And they haven't done anything like acted in a certain way. This isn't pride. This isn't someone twerking in your direction that you can't stand. This isn't someone forcing their agenda on you. He's doing his job. How dare you? So it's that kind of grit and support system that you need to install inside yourself, and start to bring the people around you in your life that provide that for you. Because I don't know if he needed that from me or not. He maybe didn't. He maybe could have found me overbearing and insulting and undermining, and he maybe thought I wasn't genuine. Who knows? But I can only imagine how he processed what he went through every single fucking day. You put yourself on the front like that to be abused like that. And you know for a fact he's getting roasted daily. It's hard. And that's what gives us purpose and meaning in life, to go through struggles. Remember, we're spoken about lessons and blessings. You could have went through something like this on your own. With these cards coming out, someone really judging you, or you being really, really judged by a collective, a group. You could be a social media influencer. You could be a boss, a leader, a manager, someone in the C-suite, someone in a really, really important role. You could be a founder, developer, creator of some kind. You could be the lead of a network, and everything kind of spirals out from you, and you've got to carry the rest of the team quite frequently. And a lot of people bend or bow at your will and what you say. You could have been making some really shitty decisions and a lot of mistakes, and everyone kind of picking up the slack for you a bit, or saying you've done something wrong. And you're, oh, sorry, do this. Oh, sorry, do that. You could have been changing your plan quite a lot. You could have went through some serious ups and downs with the team. A lot of people could have been like making remarks and comments saying they could do the job better than you. You could have even been questioned whether or not you can compete in this fast-paced arena. Like someone could have said, this is a really high-octane job. This is a really, really fast-paced career choice. Maybe this isn't something for you. Maybe you would prefer a role that you could slow down in. Yeah? When the manager starts talking to you like that. Maybe this isn't quite for you. Maybe you would do better in this kind of role. I wouldn't want you to take on extra responsibility with all the other things you've got going on in your life right now, yeah? And you've been like, no, I can do this. But that has rattled you and shaken you, and you felt like you had to work even harder to get to where you're going, which has only made you somewhat worse, because now you're stressed, now you're overwhelmed, and now you're dropping the ball in loads of different places because you haven't got control over everything, because you haven't got control over yourself, because you're worrying all the time. And actually, at the end of the day, everybody knows you're really, really good at what you do, and you are the power player here. You do have the job for a reason, or created this life for yourself with purpose. It's just there's a lot of moving pieces, and until you really ground yourself and start taking accountability for it all, you're going to be bobbing and weaving, and you're going to have to check people. Like I said, get gritty, keep it fucking real. Stand on the fucking front line, like the emo I told you about in Sainsbury's, and check any motherfucker that disrespects you in the most beautiful, positive, professional way. Because he didn't say a damn thing when he got disrespected, or when people were all queuing. Every time they walked past him, it was like 1 in 3. When the queue's quite busy and you can see people going, 1 in 3 was shitting on him. 1 in 3 looked at him like he was a piece of shit. Imagine that all day. I don't even know who put him there. I'm really annoyed now. I need to go back to Sainsbury's and find him and check on him. Stressed. Okay. But whatever that is, stand in your power. Yeah, because the power in that man now, because of what he went through, the resilience, the strength, and God is real, and whatever God has destined for him, and whatever his life purpose is, and whatever he's really building, and whatever made him stay at Sainsbury's and keep getting that paycheck, I bet you he was putting that towards something. I bet he was going, don't worry, a couple more months of this, a few more grand of this. Couple more hundred. He could have been paying for, I'm not even going to make assumptions, that's rude, but you never know, he's saving up for a better life. I guarantee that. He was way too fabulous to be there. Way too fucking fabulous. Yeah? So what are you way too fabulous for, Cancer? Let me know in the comments, and I'll be back soon with more love and light.